In this video, I will tell you about the rotate command of Autocad. So here we have the simple line object. So let's first look at this line object. And if you want to rotate this object to any particular angle, you can do that with the rotate command. So on the modify panel, here you will find this rotate tool. So click on this rotate and now select the object which you want to rotate and press enter. Now the command line will prompt you to specify the base point, and the base point will be the fixed point or the pivot point about which the object will rotate. So in the first case, let's select this corner as the base point, and now you'll notice that the object will move along with our cursor. So you can click anywhere in the drawing area to place this object and it will be rotated to that angle, or you can add an exact value of angle using the command line. So let's say that we want to rotate it to an angle of 30 degrees. So for that, I'll type 30 and now press enter. And here we have it. The object is now rotated to an angle of 30 degrees. And the rotation simply means that if you draw a single line, then the angle between this line and this line will be 30 degrees in anti-clockwise direction. So that's the direction which is always positive in Autocad. Now let's say that we want to make this line in the downward direction. So for that, I'll simply add -30 instead of 30. So let's press Ctrl Z for a couple of times and now select the rotate tool and click on this line, press enter, select the same base point, and instead of 30, let's enter -30, press enter, and now you can see that the line is rotated to this angle which is below the horizontal line. So let's press Ctrl Z to get back to the original condition. Now in both of these cases, you have noticed that the original line is removed and it is rotated to that angle. Now what if we also want to retain this line and we also want to make a copied line at the required angle? For that, we can select the rotate tool, select the object, press enter, specify base point, and now select the copy option from the command line and now enter the angle. So let's say that we want to enter 45 and press enter. So in this case, the original line is also retained and a copy will be rotated to the required angle. Now let's look at one more case, and in this situation we'll change the base point. So let's select the rotate tool, select the object, press enter, and now in this case I'll select the midpoint as the base point, and now you'll notice that the object will be rotated from that point, and you can obviously add the angle, let's say 60, and here we have it, the rotated line. Let's now erase it. So now let's look at this case. In this situation, we have this line which is inclined to this horizontal line, and we don't know the angle to which this line is inclined. Now if you want to rotate this line to an angle of, let's say, 60 degrees with respect to this line, so that the final angle is 60 degrees plus whatever angle this is, then we can use the reference option. And for that, select the rotate tool, select the object, press enter, select the base point, select the reference tool, and now specify the reference angle, which is 0 in this case. So let's type 0 and press enter. Now we need to enter the final angle, which is 60, and press enter. So now the final angle for this line will be 60 degrees plus whatever the angle of the original line was. So in the initial case, the line was inclined to an angle of 16 degrees. So the final angle will be 76. Let's check it. So I'll select the angle tool, click on these two lines, and yes, we have this inclined to an angle of 76 degrees. And if you want to verify that, let's press Ctrl Z for a couple of times and let's check the original angle. So I'll click on these two lines, and yes, we have this line inclined to an angle of 16 degrees. So even without knowing the angle of these lines, you can change its direction, or you can rotate them to whatever angle you want from their own position. You can use this reference option to rotate this line to any final angle also. For example, in this case, we again don't know the angle of this line. Let's assume that we don't know, and we want to rotate this line to a final angle of 30 degrees with respect to this horizontal line. For that, I'll select this rotate command. Now select the line and press enter. Now specify the base point and now once again select the reference option, but in this case we will specify the reference angle, and for that I'll click at this point and then click at this point. Now you'll notice that the cursor will move along with this line, and now we need to enter the final angle up to which you want to rotate it. So we want to rotate it to an angle of 30 degrees. So type 30, press enter. So now the line has been rotated to an angle of 30 degrees with respect to this horizontal line, and it hardly matters whatever the initial angle was. So we can also check this. So let's select the angle option, select this line, and yes, we have an angle of 30 degrees here. So in this way you can rotate a line to any final angle even without knowing its initial angle with respect to the positive side of x-axis.